Hello, entrepreneurs and leaders. I am Coach Noelle Powers with Infactor Coaching. I help entrepreneurs create profitable brands as visionary leaders. Today, I want to talk about the power of setting your intention and what it does for your ability to develop a brand. So, this exercise on setting your intention comes from Oprah Winfrey. And when I was writing my book series, Vision Driven Profit, Oprah Winfrey is one of the people I wrote about because she is a master of influencing people as an entrepreneur. And I asked myself, really, how did this woman go from being a broadcaster and having a television show? How did she become the world's best known and most trusted entrepreneur? And so I did some research into her. And first of all, she definitely had her own long-term vision, which is a huge part of any brand development. But she studied intention. She came upon information on the power of being fully aligned with everything you do and believe. And so she set her intention that on the Oprah Winfrey show, that everything was going to be aligned with what she really believed. She believed in giving people transformation, that every single day she was going to give her audience one piece of transformation that helped them be their ideal person, right? She said every member in the audience is the same in one respect. They're all looking for the highest, truest expression of themselves as individuals. And so she said, my intention is always to do exactly what is in complete alignment with creating that message for every episode. So every time they would film, her producers would come out and say, Oprah, what's your intention? And I bring this up because I've been a coach for 20 years with business owners. And you want to know what really separates someone who is going to succeed in doing something and someone who is not? It's their intention. Is it your intention to be your customer's favorite brand? Is it your intention to build your foundation for how you're going to do this? Build your foundation for setting your long-term vision, for creating a message, for staying consistent in your culture. So what we've done with Mindset Monday recently is we went from setting your long-term vision to being consistent, right? Because your brand really boils down to your customer's experience. And if you are not the most consistent provider of what you do, you will not have a brand, right? We always ask the question, why do people fly halfway around the world to stand in line overnight at Apple's grand opening for their stores? It's not to buy computers, it is to have the Apple experience. So if you're going to create that experience for your customers, you have to be consistent. And this is almost like a mantra you have to have when you wake up in the morning. Am I going to stay on point? What is my intention today? So I challenge you to do this exercise when you wake up in the morning. Before you do anything, right? You want to ask yourself, what is my intention? My intention is to improve the lives of millions of people through more inspired leadership. My intention is to help you as an entrepreneur or influencer to improve people's lives through more inspired leadership. So this is not about just getting them to purchase something. This is about providing them a vision and making a positive impact that will dramatically change either their life or their business. So if I'm not successful at doing that, then there's no reason for my company to be around, right? So I always ask myself, what is my intention? And am I being aligned with that intention? Or am I being lost in the noise, right? Steve Jobs of Apple says you can only have two or three priorities at once if you're ever going to have a successful brand the way he defined it. And of course, Apple was the world's first $1 trillion brand, so he definitely was onto something. So your intention, we're coming up into 2024. And so my question to you is, what is your intention for 2024? What would you like to accomplish with your brand? And how are you going to keep aligned with that intention? And so how do you keep aware of what it is you really should be doing, and making sure that you're keeping yourself accountable? And then you've probably seen the infographic. We have the brand power pyramid, and we will be working with that extensively in 2024 for creating the foundation of your brand. So I always start with a question: why did the Egyptians create the pyramids? Right? It wasn't just to break up the blankness of the desert scape, all right? It was because of the top triangle. They wanted to generate power for the top triangle. And how do you do that? Is you had a very wide base. You created this amazing foundation. It was a big triangle, so that it created this huge vacuum on the bottom. And all of the energy hanging around, this is physics, all the energy that was just hanging around at the bottom would fly straight up to the top. And so that's why, and in fact, we really want to make sure that when you are building a brand, what you're really trying to do is concentrate the power of that brand with your long-term vision. So the first thing you do is, in 20 years, what is the one impact you want to make in people's lives? And something that's really important about the vision is you cannot be able to accomplish it right now. It has to require more resources, more money. It has to involve more influence than you could possibly have in the next 5 or 10 years. It has to be long term. It has to be something that you have to reach your own mind for. Because we have to create things that don't exist. The world relies on you to create a future that would not exist without your vision. So we want to look very long-term at that. And then we have our pillars. Really, the first 2 years is building your foundation of your brand. And that means going out and finding 5 or 10 people and making sure that they are delighted, making sure that you understand their desires more than anyone in the world, and that you have learned to exceed their expectations. So the first year or two of your brand, no matter how well established your company is, there are a lot of, you can have a large corporation or be a solopreneur or an influencer online. But if you have not found out how to take 10 people and turn yourself into their favorite brand in your industry, there is no reason to try to grow without the right foundation. And so the 3 pillars are long-term vision on top to concentrate your brand power. The second part is making sure that you have a message and a marketing strategy that makes sense. You are only for one person. Are you dialed in? When you wake up in the morning, you say, there's the one impact I want to make in one person's life. And am I keeping myself in alignment here? Have I set my intention? Am I actually doing what I have set out to do? Or am I being distracted? Or am I just running a business? Or am I just putting posts out? The people who hold their intention, the ones who have the greatest integrity about maintaining that intention with their action and their message, are the ones with the most profitable brand. Everyone from Steve Jobs and Apple, Jeff Bezos and Amazon, Sarah Blakely and Spanx, literally all the people who have created brands that no competitor can keep up with. They lead their industry, they create their industry. It's because they are very dialed in, very consistent at making sure that they are in alignment with their original intent. So our third Our third area is, of course, social proof. And this is so important. Did you know 70% of consumers trust you as an individual over a company? This is part of the trust equation. Social proof is one of the most important aspects of your brand. And the good news is, as one of the most important aspects, it can also be free. So, first of all, social proof proves that you're the kind of human being that people want to engage with, right? You want to maximize human engagement and then build a company around it, not the other way, right? How many people build companies and then they worry about engagement later? We don't want to do that. One of the best ways to have complete engagement with people is social proof. So the first thing you can do is be present on social media. And I don't just mean, posting about your company. I mean, that's good. Um, you should always be at least present because that is the start, but really post who you are, right? Post your vision. Post your vision for that one group of people. Make sure you are telling your ideal customer, I am for you. While not everyone wants to hear about your offer every day, right? Social proof is not going out there and posting your offer and bothering people about your products or your service. There is enough of that. You want to put 70% of the information you put out there. You really want to share your vision for the person you are serving. And I say this as a global expert in vision-driven profit, that sharing my vision through my personal blog and social media took me to the top. It made me one of the world's top 1,000 entrepreneurs and thought leaders and an executive contributor. I'm invited every single year to be a panelist and discussion leader at the top business publications and also at Landing Me and Who's Who in America. So when I talk about this, social proof around your vision is very important because it declares to who you're going to serve, this is why I'm here, and this is why you should follow me. So I am a social scientist, really. Going back, I've always studied leadership, entrepreneurialism, political science, sociology, really what makes people follow leaders. And so the first thing is vision, because if you share your long-term vision with people, people are very open to the rest of what you do. You don't want to have the first sentence out of your mouth say, this is what I do for a living. This is the business I run. Here's my offer. And if you could just raise your hand, who here is sick of getting offers from strangers in their message? This will kill your brand. You will never have a brand if you are cold calling people. You need to attract people to a community where you are leading them to the ideal version of themselves. So the first thing you do is invite them. Put that social proof out. Hey, I'm here for 20 years. Here's, in my ideal world, this is the impact I'm going to make on your life. And invite them and say, I'd love for you to join my community, join my page, join my podcast, join my Facebook group, right? Whatever it is you're doing online, to show up as that leader who has a long-term vision. It goes so much further. And then make a promise and keep it, right? So, uh, so on one side, you've got delivering on your promise. So make sure that you probably in one sentence can really say, I promise that I will do this. One of my clients has a transportation company, and she said, well, how do I take a company and create a brand? And I said, well, what is the one promise you make to customers that will make all the difference? And I said, right, you can be the cheapest transportation, which is not a brand at all. Let's say you're the most luxurious. How about you're the most reliable? So we did this exercise. So you're the most reliable transportation company in the area. So you set your intention that you're going to find out what reliability means to your customers. and you're going to be the master of reliability for transportation. And so she studied, she asked her customers exactly what they wanted, and she said, I promise, right? She didn't say I promise, but she says, such and such transportation company, the most reliable, the most reliable medical transport. And so she built her reputation as being the most reliable. So you have to make a promise and keep it. And you have to, create systems in your business, of course. And then, on the other side, you have to have that social proof. So social proof works for a number of reasons. Number one, like we talked about, it tells people, here's my purpose for existing, and it is for you. Um, in the Harris poll is the largest study on brand equity in the world so far. And they say that if you want to double your brand equity, just stating your purpose for existing in business and really sticking to it over the long term, you will double the money that your brand makes in the course of your business. And that is amazing. But social proof. Social proof is so important. If you guys have ever heard of the messy middle of sales, so most customers are going to throw up their objections in the messy middle. So they're interested in your product or service, and they probably can buy, but the messy middle is where they make decisions, of course, with their limbic system. Simon Sinek is really good with Start With Why, and he tells you, and it's something we all know in marketing and leadership, people don't make decisions with their rational mind. The rational mind is the last part of the human mental complex that developed, and frankly, it's the first thing to go when because decision making is emotional. It involves your limbic system. So the better you share your ideals, it triggers their limbic system. It's how they make decisions based on their deepest values and how that forms beliefs and how they make decisions, why they make decisions. So it helps you get through the messy middle because you've already established it. This is my vision. I am trustworthy. I am a leader. You are following me to your ideals. Visionary leaders and brand leaders, specifically, they develop the most profitable brands because they have lifelong customers that believe in something that they do. So this is limbic. This is sharing your ideals. This is speaking the language of ideals. We all have products and services, and of course, you want to package that the right way, but we want to make sure that everything is really aligning with what a lifetime customer really wants. So it's dialing it in. And I share this, I belabor this because people are so salesy. You want to be on social media. You want to connect with up to 1 billion people. You want to connect to people who fit the psychographic aspect of your brand. If you are not approaching people for free, where billions of people are looking to be part of a real community with you as a leader, you are missing out on the greatest opportunity in marketing. There's never been a better opportunity, but you have to know how to work it. And so I am on social media. I work with entrepreneurs and CEOs. I lead leadership forums, entrepreneur forums, marketing and branding. And I'll just tell you what I see in people's marketing and branding training is not a brand. They're teaching you branding activities. Here's a logo. Here's your slogan. Here's how to be consistent in presenting it and showing up. Now, that is very important, but it's only important if you have a brand with a capital B. And a brand with a capital B means that just like those people in Apple showing up, flying halfway around the world, standing in line overnight for a store opening, your brand is your customer experience. Your brand with a capital B is having a clear vision that you communicate. Here is your ideal life, and here is how you are going to obtain it. One product at a time, one post at a time, one blog at a time, however it is you are communicating with people. Every single thing that you do needs to help that person move toward their ideal self. So this is very different. Only 1% of companies will ever have a real brand, because we are social animals, human beings. We want to be part of communities. And now more than ever, you need more social proof, because people don't just want to buy things. People want to be engaged with other people who are aligned with their values. And as the younger generations are getting more purchasing power, they are more sensitive. So like I said, set your intention and make sure that everything you're doing is aligned with the values you've told people you have. So under promise and over deliver. And there are a lot of great ways to build this foundation and to get your three triangles working together. But I just wanted to encourage you, 2024 is coming up. And aside from having an income goal and having, revenue goals and saying, well, I'm going to do this and do this, make sure also that you have set your intention. You've set your intention to improve and concentrate your brand power, and to set your long-term vision as the main thing that you communicate. Make sure you are creating a small promise and just delivering on it, finding ways to fine tune everything you do to deliver on that promise to customers just a little better every day. And that you're creating social proof, that you are being present to the community you've already developed, that you're being present to the person who is the most attracted to that vision, that you are showing up a couple times a week or every day, whatever your rhythm is for communicating. Make sure that they see, who are you? What do you believe in the most? Why are you so inspired to serve them? And what are the steps that you take to be in better alignment to help them reach their ideal selves? And this can be for home, business, whatever it is you do. Um, just shifting your focus a little bit, and keeping your intention, because the number one complaint I hear about for brand development, for the brand with a capital B, creating your customer's favorite brand, is focus. So if you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is set your intention, my intention is to do X for X person, and you commit everything you do to be in alignment with that, you will find that it will be the greatest way to stay on task and to accomplish a level of success in leading and inspiring and influencing people, so that you get better at that as you go. Because we want to be like Oprah Winfrey. We want to be wherever you are right now. That intention is like setting your nose in an airplane, right? You're the pilot of this airplane, and you may be surrounded by other airplanes, and you might all be in the same industry, saying you're doing the same thing. But I'm telling you, with intention, it's like setting your nose and not letting it vary, not letting it move a single degree, because you might be all doing the same checklist for flying an airplane, and you might all go through the same conditions. But let me tell you, if you are setting your intention to concentrate your brand power over years, next year, there's 10 airplanes right now, half of them are going to be gone in 1 or 2 years. 5 years, a few more. In 10 years, if you've got 1 or 2 competitors left at all, that's amazing. And the difference will be your intention. Are you holding your intention? Is it your intention to be your customer's favorite brand? Is it your intention to create an industry and to be uncontested and to give your customers an experience that their competitors cannot sell them? We are growing our community of entrepreneurs growing profitable brands. Please, if you like this video, like it and share it. And of course, join my newsletter. I have a free offer, 52 ways to make more money with your brand. And if you click on that link, you will get that free offer and get on our monthly newsletter where we give you an in factor. That's a tip that unlocks your power as an entrepreneur, as a visionary leader, so that you can grow a profitable brand as the leader of your niche.